And welcome back. Next guest is the founder and artistic director of Mall Opera and the Mall Opera Community Chorus. And she joins us to speak about her opera community chorus group and to highlight how she intends on making opera more accessible for young and old alike. Everyone in between, too, right here in the Boogie Down Bronx. So welcome to the show, Cheryl Warfield. Yes. How are you?
I am well, and I'm delighted to be here. Nice to meet you.
Now, we heard a lot about you. We heard that you can sing. We heard that you're the sister of Paul Warfield,
Yes.
a football player, Hall of Famer.
Correct.
Yeah. And you just recently visited, right? I don't want to go off and talk about your brother all the time because it's about you, but you can briefly
Sure.
mention. Yeah.
Actually, we just celebrated his 40th anniversary of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And
Alrighty.
so we had a family gathering, and it was just very special. And of course, we're very proud of him. But if I can say, one of the things that brought me here is our hometown, Warren, Ohio, which had wonderful athletic programs, but also phenomenal arts programming. And so it's really important to me now that I'm here in New York to try to help New York have the same.
Great genes in the family, huh?
Well, perhaps, yes. So,
You picked up the vocal part of it.
and also my oldest sister as well. But yes, my father had a beautiful baritone voice and sang in church all the time. And that's where we really got started with singing. And then I actually had a voice teacher from the age of 13 who introduced me to my first operatic aria when I was 15. Won my first competition at 17. And
Do you remember the song that you sang? Briefly?
absolutely, it's Quando me vo from the opera La Boheme. Would you like to hear a little?
I would like to hear how that sounds.
Quando me vo solita per la via, la gente sosta e mira. It does have a high note, if
Yeah.
you let me continue just a little.
Just go ahead. Ooh, look at them looking from the studio. Look. Well, in the balcony up there.
Oh.
Look.
Like at the balcony
Very
of the
good.
Met,
That's right. Very good.
which
Wow.
it was the Metropolitan Opera that brought me to New York. I came with contract in hand from Columbus, Ohio, where I first began.
Did you have the pen in the other hand?
I definitely was signing in blue and not in red. But my start was through chorus.
Yeah.
Because interestingly enough, my father made me get an accounting degree. And for a long time, I thought I would never really actually be able to follow my passion and my pursuit.
But the accounting degree came in handy, right?
It has come in
You can
very
count
handy.
your money now.
Well,
a little bit better.
and also with my not-for-profit organization.
Yeah.
In fact, in getting my very first grant in Ohio,
Yeah.
one of the things they said was I was actually an auditor for the state of Ohio. When they said, well, this organization will be fiscally responsible.
But see, sometimes when we're in school, we don't think that, wow, how am I going to use this when I get out of school?
Exactly.
Is this something that I'm not even, like psychology. Sometimes you think you're not using it, but you are.
That's
You can put it to
absolutely true.
work.
Yes.
So you came to the Bronx, and you're doing some things here. Talk about
Absolutely.
the older adults in the Bronx.
Yes.
You started about
That's-
5 years ago working
Yes.
with them?
It was an initiative through the city of New York, Sukasa, administered by the Bronx Opera. I definitely want to do a shout out to them. They do wonderful things here in the Bronx. Emerging artists from around New York come to work there. And Ben Spearman, who's the general director, hired me to start a chorus at the Jazza Van Cortlandt Senior Center.
So this is how you use your experience to in performing arts to do what you do today.
Exactly, and we have such wonderful adults at the Jazza Van Cortlandt Center.
And this, what is this here?
So, well, now this is actually at the James Baldwin Outdoor Learning Center, which is an organization that we're partnering with now that's at Sedgwick and Golden. In fact, the market is going on currently every Saturday from 11, I believe, to 3 in the afternoon. And I just performed there this past Saturday. And also the chorus did as well. So we did several numbers with the chorus performing, which was absolutely delightful. And then I asked one of my more opera tenors, Arthur Lay, to join me, and we did some duets of opera, and it was really very exciting.
But wait a minute, when are you doing this again? Because we need to come out and see you.
Well, the next time that we'll be at the James Baldwin Outdoor Learning Center is going to be in October, the last Saturday of October, when they close for the season. And so this will be our second anniversary of closing with them. But the picture that you were showing was actually the Juneteenth program that we did with them. And we've done that now for 2 years as well. And so, but what I really would like to tell you about is what ultimately happened was something that we thought was unfortunate that turned out to be fantastic. And that was that the Jasmine Cortland Center decided not to have chorus anymore. And what that meant was that my seniors had no chance to continue to perform.
So what did you do?
Well, more importantly, I had already scheduled them to sing at the San Gennaro Festival in Manhattan. This was going to be their big break to sing in Manhattan.
Right?
It's coming up again, but they sang last year.
Yeah.
And I needed to get them ready. And it was so amazing that my seniors, some of them actually live in the amalgamated housing, which also has Vladeck Hall, which is actually a lovely auditorium to perform in, and they helped make arrangements for us to have some rehearsals there. And so we were able to still do the performance, and of course they wanted us to be able to continue. And so now I've had an opportunity through my not-for-profit More Opera to partner with AmPark, which is amalgamated. Also, we're now in Riverdale at RSS Senior Center, and most recently I did some programming at Masciolo Montefiore Senior Center.
You guys are moving around.
So, but what was really beautiful about that was that I was able to invite people from all of those different centers to come work together. And so you had people from Riverdale meeting people from, more of the east side of the Bronx and everything. And yes, actually, this is where that happened. This is actually Vladeck Hall, and we have seniors from different areas, plus a couple of my More Opera choristers joined in as well. And what I think is so exciting now is that they actually enjoy having me sing along with them in performance. But really, what is different about my programming is that I train people to perform, to be on stage, and to be ready.
And do you have a lot of people that sound like you, that sing like you, that you have trained?
I have some people who actually do. We have several people and my chorus who also participate in the Lehman College community
but you know what?
chorus.
You have to, in order to sound like you have to perfect that voice, but you have to do some things before you sing.
Well, first of all,
like backstage?
Actually,
preparation?
A little bit of backstage preparation, but actually the real preparation is making sure that you take care of yourself. Staying hydrated, getting plenty of sleep. The one thing about singing is that your instrument is in your body. If you're a pianist or another kind of instrumentalist, you can go out and party all night and have and live whatever lifestyle that you want to, and it may catch up with you eventually. But in the beginning, you can still sit down with that instrument, and it's going to do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
If you don't take care of your voice,
Even
You hear
speaking.
it. Even speaking.
Yeah.
So one of the important things is always to try to keep your voice forward. So never in your throat. Okay. And so there's a difference between if I'm speaking like
I'm speaking
this
like this.
and I'm speaking
I'm
like
speaking like
this.
this.
Yes. And so, and especially if you are tired, because we are all, living our lives. And in New York, we have very busy lives. And so we don't always get enough sleep. So it's just really important to really concentrate on your voice.
Do you teach people by Zoom? I mean, I know,
Yes.
especially with COVID-19 out there, in the past, you had to go to Zoom.
That's one of the things that I was very proud of while we were still associated with Joseph and Cortland.
Yeah.
Of course, then COVID hit and everything shut down. And I had seniors who were at the center daily.
Yeah.
This was a very important part of their lives, and suddenly they were home alone. And so I needed to connect with them.
Yeah.
And many of them had never been on Zoom before. Some of them had never turned on, a computer before. And we lost half of our seniors who did not do the technology. But we were really able to do some really wonderful performances online.
But you know what? A lot of people had trouble with if you were singing and people were at different places to sync it up. They found out how to do it later on, though, through Zoom.
You still cannot have two people talking or singing at the same time.
Yeah.
And so what we had to do, and I was able to train our seniors to do this, is to self-record. And so they made audio recordings of themselves, which then were compiled, and we put them together, and then through Zoom, and they did a wonderful job. And just look at their faces, and it brings so much joy. It also brought great joy to the audiences listening. But at the same time, this is for everyone.
Yeah.
These were the ones who were first, and now I'm able to bring everyone else into the fold as well, and that's been so exciting.
And everyone doesn't have to have a voice that goes up that high. You can have people, to even it out, you need somebody that can sing the low registers. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter if you are a beginner, because that's what I'm here for, is to help train you. And I can't begin to tell you the growth that I've seen with so many of our seniors.
Let me help you take some baby steps until you get to where you need to go.
Exactly. And it's empowering for them and even for me, just because this is what I love most, and to be able to share that with others. And that's actually one of the reasons why I'm here today, is that we are going to have some more programming this fall that will be taking place at Vladek Hall, and we are looking for more singers. And so,
there's a bunch of them right there.
Yes. and well, this was on their way going to San Gennaro Festival last year. And so, and that's at the feast. And that's how many people were listening. And there were even more who could hear it throughout the streets. And so it's really exciting. And so I ask anyone, please, if you are really interested in singing, if you've ever thought, I really would love to sing, and maybe you just didn't get a chance before, now is your chance.
They probably always sang, but it was in the shower and they were afraid to step out.
Exactly. But now you can be on stage. Come join us. We're the More Opera Community Chorus of the Bronx. And we are always rehearsing in zip code 10463. And you can reach me at www.moreopera.com or on social media, More Opera. Or if you're old school, may I, 212-252-2512.
Why do they call you the Oprah of opera?
Well, that's a wonderful story. I am a teaching artist, not only of older adults, but also of children. I've been doing that for over 20 years here in the New York City school system. And I had an opportunity to present an opera residency in Crown Heights in Brooklyn. And I asked a young boy to go to the chalkboard to write the word opera.
And he wrote Oprah?
He wrote Oprah. And there was just a minute that our eyes connected, and I realized what he was thinking. And he saw me kind of like Oprah. I've actually been told before, although I don't see it, that there is like some kind of similarity between Oprah and I. I actually had someone come up to me at the grocery store and say, "Oh, you remind me of Oprah." And I only said, "I wish I had her money." And
Well, reach out to her. You want her to help you out with your foundation and everything?
oh, that would be phenomenal.
Reach out, take one of the cameras there and say, Oprah.
Oprah.
You know, we have this foundation.
I am the Oprah of opera, and what that means is like you bring information into people's living rooms. I've gone into classrooms and in rehearsal rooms to introduce people to opera, and it's been a joy for me to do that, but it has been so wonderful for the people who I expose to this music. And if there's any way that you can help us amplify what we do, it would be greatly appreciated. But what I can say most of all is that the Bronx, of all 5 boroughs, has done the most to help me amplify my work, and I greatly appreciate that.
Excellent. Where can we, if Oprah is listening to you, where can she send information to? Give us that website and everything again, social media.
It's More Opera, www.moreopera.com. And also at More Opera, hashtag More Opera on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Cheryl Warfield, founder, artistic director, Manhattan Opera Repertory Ensemble. And you can add to it and say,
New York needs more opera.
thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we'll take a quick break. I've got more coming up next. More coming up next.